Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So 2 videos ago, before we did that epic 43-minute long Trump versus DeSantis 2024 dissertation, we did a video talking about the states in the Midwest and how the midterm elections are going to be won throughout the Midwest. And in this video today, I'm going to be talking about the Sun Belt, why the midterm elections are also going to be won in the Sun Belt. You have several Senate seats that are hotly contested. Republicans can flip 3 Senate seats in the Sun Belt or just the South or the Southwestern United States, as well as the fact that there are some key governorship elections that are going to be hotly contested that a lot of people are talking about. And I feel like I'm going to take some time out of my day today to finally drop a video for you guys and to analyze them. So we are going to start, but I have to tell you guys in the meantime about our newest sponsors, the Support the Second Coin. You want to support gun owners, gun rights, and the Second Amendment. You could get your Second Amendment coin. It's entirely free for a limited time. Just cover shipping. You can get 10 per person max. And this is a promotion to celebrate the grand opening of their website. This originally retails for $24.95, made of stainless steel. You could get it for free at the link at the pinned comment and the description down below. So we're going to start off here in the state of Georgia. It is possible that we could get to some honorable mentions. This is true. I'm not going to cover every single state that is in the, generic Sun Belt. We're not going to be talking about Alabama. We know what's going to happen there. We're not going to cover Oklahoma, but we should get to the honorable mentions first. Because of the fact that in North Carolina, there's a Senate election there. Ted Budd, he's probably going to win very easily. Pretty much everybody on the right is, in full support of him at this point. And Cherry Beasley is just not that strong. And again, Nate Plastic only giving Ted Budd a 75% chance and having him with a 5-point lead should tell you that he's probably going to win by a lot more than that. I could honestly see this race being a double-digit one at the end of the day, especially because early polls in North Carolina tend to overestimate Democrats. Furthermore, Florida, Marco Rubio is up against Val Demings in the state of Florida. He is more likely than not going to win that election there by a sizable margin. Whether you like Rubio or not, I think he is weak. However, he is an electoral juggernaut. He is going to win that general election. Democrats are not going to take that seat back, so do keep that in mind. And then Ron DeSantis, he should easily win the governorship there. Pretty much everybody agrees the fact that he is only at 95% in the 538 forecast should tell you he's probably closer to 99. And even they have him winning by 12 over Charlie Crist. That's a sizable margin, so there should really be no problem there. Also, you have the governorship in Texas, where you have Greg Abbott. He will likely win by a sizable margin as well, especially after the garbage stunt that Beto pulled, not just in his 2020 presidential campaign, but also after the Uvalde shooting definitely turned off a lot of people, especially independents. And the guy's literally like an older version of Dash Dabrowski. I don't know if you know who that is, but if you're on social media, you've seen this guy. He's like a Democrat political operative, and he just yells about nothing and how Republicans are evil. He's a resist lib. It's pretty funny. I actually think that it's borderline satire, but even if it's not satire, you probably can get a kick out of it because it's so funny. But furthermore, the other state I wanted to touch on before we really, narrow our focus onto the big 3 in the Sun Belt is the state of New Mexico, where Mark Ronchetti, who did very well in the Senate election in 2020, is running again against the incumbent Michelle Lujan Grisham for governor. Now, do keep in mind, they only have him at 45.9%, which is absolutely laughable. He got roughly around that, if not even more than that, running for Senate in 2020, and a lot of people thought he didn't even have a chance, but it was a lot closer than a lot of people expected because he's a well-liked weatherman, and I think he's actually going to win at the end of the day. I mean, some polls may have him underwater by a little bit, but even so, they don't have him underwater by 5. And then you have that third-party challenger. I expect the third-party vote share in the polls to dip. It usually does as time goes on closer to the election. and Ron Chetty should have no problem winning. In my opinion, I think it's going to be very close, but Republicans could pick off the governorship in New Mexico. It is very possible. We'll just have to wait and see what happens there. So furthermore, that's pretty much about it. We're going to focus our targets on the big three for the remainder of this video: Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. So we know who the nominees are going to be for governor and Senate in Georgia and Nevada. We don't know in Arizona, so we'll touch base on that when we get to Arizona. But I want to talk about Georgia. The governorship is pretty much going to be Brian Kemp's for the taking for a second term. Brian Kemp, does he deserve a second term? No, but he's going up against Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams will destroy Georgia, to the point of no return and even past that. And Brian Kemp is not exactly doing a very good job himself, whether it's election integrity issues, whether it's, having a massive amount of illegal aliens in your state, even more than Arizona, which is led by Doug Ducey, or whether it's the fact that he gives tax credits to liberal businesses so they could come in and, incentivize the change of the state of Georgia to a more liberal state than it already is. The guy is doing, Nathan Deal's third term for him, but arguably worse in some aspects. And as a result, this guy is not really that good. But is he going to win? I mean, he's going up against Stacey Abrams. Kemp is well-liked enough now in the suburbs that he's turning blue to outperform Trump in them by maybe like 5 points per county. And he'll outperform Herschel Walker there as well. And because there's going to be high turnout, he'll probably still win. And then you have Herschel Walker. He's going to be getting out the rural areas. And Stacey Abrams being on the ticket is going to energize a lot of Republicans who are angry because they don't like Stacey Abrams because she is just very far left and patronizing in their eyes, and rightfully so. Even though she might be a neoliberal, that doesn't exactly mean that she doesn't, sometimes talk like she's a neoliberal. She was the one that was basically going out there and saying illegal aliens are part of the blue wave back in 2018, if you remember. She could have won that governorship, but she's not likable in any way, shape, or form, at least in the rural areas. A lot of the rural areas, match their turnout level in 2016 numbers for Brian Kemp, even though she did better in the suburbs. Kemp should hold on, no problem, is what I'm saying, because of the anti-Abrams turnout there. Furthermore, we will talk about the Senate race because this has been talked about a lot. Even Nate Plastic agrees that Herschel Walker is the favorite, although he only gives him a 0.4% advantage, which would probably put this race in yet another Georgia runoff there. But at the end of the day, looking at it, it's like that Quinnipiac poll was awful. We've seen so many bad Quinnipiac polls over the years. The fact that this guy gives them an A- is laughable in and of themselves. And then you have Data for Progress, which is a Democrat internal, and then they even have Herschel Walker up by 2 points. And people will say, well, Walker's not that well-spoken. He, isn't really that great of a debater. He doesn't really bring a lot of substance. He has, quite a few domestic abuse scandals in his past. But at the end of the day, it's like that doesn't exactly mean he's going to lose or that he's a bad candidate. Raphael Warnock also has a lot of those same issues going in his direction. And if you want to talk about debating, do you really want to make the comparison to Kelly Loeffler? She was awful. She was robotic. Herschel Walker is a football legend. He's beloved in Georgia. He's a friend of Donald Trump's. He's going to do very well, at least among the voters that he needs to vote for him. He will get the rural areas out. They're going to vote against Raphael Warnock in sizable numbers because now you have somebody that's going to, support their agenda more so than the establishment insider trader known as the robot Kelly Loeffler. But also beyond that point, he is a football legend. A lot of people are underestimating the fact that college football is like that thing in the South, especially in Georgia still. And I believe he will do well enough in the suburbs to win. Based off of that fact alone, he's not going to outperform Trump 2020 in the suburbs by a whole lot, but he doesn't necessarily need to win because that's how close it was. I mean, you look at a lot of these counties in Georgia, he will do slightly better in a lot of these counties. Like Cobb County, he might get 43. Douglas, he might, go back up to 40 because this is mainly a referendum on Joe Biden. Warnock is a party line vote for Joe Biden. And at the end of the day, voters hate Joe Biden. They're not going to reward Raphael Warnock with another 6 years. at a time where he's voting in lockstep with a president that has an approval in the mid-30s in the state. I mean, that's just the way that it is. I mean, if this was any other year, then maybe Warnock would hold on. I mean, Georgia is moving left, but this is 2022. These midterms. We're going to have a red wave here. So beyond that point, let's move on to Arizona. This has been talked about so much, and we'll continue to talk about this. Even Nate Plastic has Kari Lake winning the general election, much to the electabro's demise. But Kari Lake is somebody who I've talked about is under fire by a lot of neocon groups. A lot of the neocon establishment Republican candidates have been dropping out and just focusing all of their energy on trying to elect Karen Taylor Robson, who is awful. She's donated to the Gallego family, who are very far left, very popular. I guess you would say notorious, not popular, but notorious far left family that runs a great deal of the Arizona Democrat Party. She's going to be going up against Robson in the primary. I believe that she will win her primary. There was another poll that dropped. I was worried, but this new poll that is from a relatively high-rated pollster, a lot of people are saying it's not, but it's not true. They're lying. These are the same people that support OHPI. It's not Ohio Predictive Insights, but it's OH Predictive Insights. I think the OH stands for often horrible because it's just horrible. And they had like Biden at this point in the election back in 2020 winning by like 11 points in the state, or nine points, I believe, in the state of Arizona. So they're not a reliable pollster. They need to go in the garbage, but even they have Kari Lake winning. This poll from Signal, which is underrated, has her up over Karen Robson by 12. All the neocon attacks, all of the, I'm phone baking for Brnovich and Karen Robson. We have to stop the evil America First national populist candidates from winning. They can't win Arizona. It's like it's 2022. Any Republican can win Arizona. This is the case. It is so true. But I really feel like in terms of this election, you got to turn out the base. You got to build a coalition. You got to have candidates that are fighters, that are rhetorically talented. You get that in Kari Lake. With Karen Robson, you get a robot. I mean, if she wins the general, which is not even a foregone conclusion, it's going to be based off of the fact that she's not Katie Hobbs, and Katie Hobbs just manages to be far worse, and it's not even close. And we'll see what happens there, but I believe Kari Lake's going to win by a lot more than the 0.4% that Nate Plastic has her winning by. I'm shocked he has her winning at all. But at the end of the day, I believe that Lake is probably going to win. She will eviscerate Hobbs in the debates, and she will cruise to, I believe, a victory of at least 5 points. I think it's going to be by a likely margin. At the end of the day, assuming everything goes right. The same people that said, Mastriano can't win, it's like nominating Roy Moore, are the same people saying Lake can't win. They're the same people that are saying Masters can't win, which we'll talk about in a second. And it's like Mastriano is doing very well up in Pennsylvania, especially regarding his messaging, whatever he's got going on up there. It's a very positive development, and he's proving all the doubters wrong. They said, he can't win because he posted a meme. He posted a meme 4 years ago. He can't win. And all the early polls, which are garbage, by the way, because they overestimate the Dems, show him in a margin of error, statistical tie with none other than Josh Shapiro, who's one of the most overrated candidates the Dems could put up. And now he's arguably going to be under fire for scandals that are just coming out. I think it could easily be an easy victory for Mastriano. You guys will just have to wait and see, but this is not about the Rust Belt here. We'll talk about the Arizona Senate race. Mark Kelly, he's going up against Blake Masters. And this is another primary that Blake Masters is running away with. A lot of people are angry. They're seething. They're saying Masters is incapable of winning the state of Arizona. He can't win independent voters in the state. But independent voters in the state, do you think they're going to vote for somebody who's young, somebody who's charismatic, somebody who's a total Chad, who brings a lot of policy knowledge to the table while still, advocating for their best interest? Or are they going to vote for some greasy slob that wields his nunchucks all over the place and is just a total neocon? The fact that all these Arizona independents are super ideological and they're ideological neocons. No, ideological neocons only exist on Twitter and in DC. That's it. Somebody like Mark Brnovich, his politics don't play out very well. He's hated. He underperformed expectations in 2014. He underperformed them vastly in 2018. And at the end of the day, Blake Masters is somebody who's a little bit more of an unknown entity. They'll pull up, he said this in college, but it's it doesn't matter. Was he entirely wrong about that? No. Does that play out well in an attack ad? No, because Masters knows how to counter it. He's a very cerebral, smart guy. And at the end of the day, I believe he is going to take Arizona, and the primary should be his for the taking. Mark Kelly is vastly overrated. Nate Plastic says it's 58-42. Like, it's not a foregone conclusion. Masters wins the general, of course, but at the end of the day, it's not really a testament to him. It's more of a testament to the fact that Arizona is Arizona. It's going to be close, but Masters, I think, is favored, probably 2-1 right now at a minimum or so. And I think he will win at the end of the day, probably by around 3-4 points or so. We'll just have to wait and see. But he's doing a very good job. He's proving all the doubters wrong. They called him an internet candidate, too far right to win. Oh, he's such a populist, he can't win, whatever that means. And as a result, he is proving all the doubters wrong in real time. You love to see it. This is a new Republican Party. This is 2022. Nobody would have thought that Florida would have a lot of, the most conservative right-wing leadership like we have in Ron DeSantis over there. And at the end of the day, he's changing the party, the Jeb Bush wing of the party, the Rubio wing there on the outs. You're seeing the Matt Gaetzes rise up, DeSantis rise up, a lot of these other people. Arizona's culture is changing as well. And this is a new Republican Party. This is a new Arizona. This is a new midterm year 2022. And right now, Kari Lake and Blake Masters are going to win, and they're going to become popular while still getting a lot of things done and shifting that Overton window in the right direction. I also got to flex the follow because both of them follow me on Twitter, as you guys can see, and they're on the right side of the thread. Karen Robson doesn't. I mean, she's shocked she hasn't blocked me by now. But look at the follower count. Kari Lake has got all the energy. 300,000 followers. Karen Robson, she can't even get 5,000. It's hilarious. It's pathetic. And yeah, Twitter's not real life, but at the end of the day, it kind of shows that there's no energy behind her. There really is not. A lot of the people that are going to vote for her are boomers that don't know anything about politics and just see an ad that was funded by the Koch brothers for her, and they're going to vote for her. But she's spending a lot of money, and as a result, not working out so well for her. So we got to move on to Nevada, because this video is getting a little bit long. But Nevada, you have Steve Sisolak going up against Joe Lombardo. Joe Lombardo is from Clark County. He was sheriff of Clark County. And Clark County has the lion's share of the state's population. Of the votes that were cast in Nevada, around like 70% of them are from Clark County. He's from there, which is huge, and he has won elections there. He is somebody who is popular there as well, and Sisolak is somebody that, with the lockdowns, kind of been a little bit on the outs of a lot of independents that may have swung his way back in 2018. So do keep that in mind. I really think that Sisolak's leftward turn over the past couple years is kind of symbolic of the DSA takeover in the state of Nevada. I'm not saying he's, fully in line with them ideologically, but they're very incompetent. I think Lombardo is going to pull off a victory there. I think he's going to be a relatively solid governor, not the best in the country, but one of the better governors in the country. He will be relatively solid and get some things done in Nevada, and we love to see that. And then in the Senate race, Adam Laxalt is going up against a very overrated incumbent in Catherine Cortez Masto, and we know this, and Nate Plastic has it as a virtual tie. I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know about Nevada. I mean, there have been some recent polls that have had Cortez Masto up. They also have Trump up over Biden in 2024 in the state of Nevada, which is very interesting. I think polling in Nevada is garbage. It's very wonky. If you went off the polling in 2010, Harry Reid would have lost to Sharon Angle by like 5, and in turn he won by 5, and Angle didn't exactly campaign that much because she took the victory for granted. That's why she lost. It wasn't because, she was too far right. No, that's not why. That's the Electabro psyop that they're running on people like Kari Lake and people like Blake Masters right now. But that's beside the point. What we do know is the basic fact that Laxalt is in the driver's seat. Lombardo, I think, is going to do better than people expect, and I think Laxalt will too. I could see Nevada at the end of the day going Republican by, I don't know, maybe 5 points in each race or so or more, because there's just a lot of population in Clark County. I think it's pulling a mini Miami-Dade. I think Trump might win it in 2024. Some people might say that's outlandish, that's crazy. I disagree. It's a new Nevada. It's a new era. Biden is screwing up. But a lot of voters are angry about that. That's what they're going to the polls to vote on in 2022. It's not, oh, Mo 1-6. Oh, this candidate said something. Yeah, it's like this candidate said something back in college that was, slightly socially unacceptable or objectionable. Yes, let's vote for more inflation. Independents don't think that way. If they do think that way, they're never going to vote for the other, establishment, cookie cutter Republicans that you want to put up there. They're just not. This is a new era, 2022. We're winning the electability war. We're going to win it on August 2nd. Video out tomorrow talking about Peter Meyer. He's toast. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below. Comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Red Eagle out.